Monday Night Raw returns to the world's most famous arena. This is the 15th time that Raw took place at MSG. Every time WWE's at the Garden, there is always a sense of feeling that WWE is home. And it definitely felt that way considering what was the main event. The steel cage match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. All eyes were on that match. The show kicked off with Jey Uso's electrifying entrance in New York City. This only shows how popular Jey Uso is. And people literally complained that he won the Royal Rumble. Well, those people look dumb. Jey Uso kicked off the show facing off against Grayson Waller. The match finished clean with the spear on Grayson Waller and a 3 count. But after the match, Austin Theory attacked Jey Uso, but Jey fought back and it became a 2-on-1 situation. Waller got taken out to the outside, Theory got hit with the spear and the Uso splash by Uso. But Uso got caught in a sleeper by the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, who is his opponent at WrestleMania. I've enjoyed the build so far for this match, but I will say, it is a little overshadowed by the John Cena heel turn. But that was to be expected. The show continues with Logan Paul. This dude rips a guy's shirt in the front row that stated, "I hate Logan Paul. Don't we all?" Logan goes on the microphone and cuts a promo on AJ Styles. The boos by the crowd were really loud. Of course, we are in New York City. Just as loud as the boos for Dominic Mysterio and Don Callis. He compares himself to The Rock and John Cena and says that he was shocked that Cody was dumb enough to reject The Rock's offer. It took Cena 20 years to realize nice guys just finish last. And he asks Rock that he also wants to sell his soul, that he is the celebrity. And then he mentions Andrew Schultz, who was in the crowd, and he stated that real recognizes real. They give Andrew Schultz the microphone. Andrew said that they all came to Madison Square Garden not for Logan Paul, but for the steel cage match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. He tells Logan no one is here to see him. You're not in Cleveland, you are in New York City. This is Madison Square Garden. This is a real city with real wrestlers. And he wants to see AJ Styles. Then all of a sudden, this pissed off Logan Paul so much that he proceeded to attack Andrew Schultz. AJ Styles comes out for the save. He ends up hitting the phenomenal forearm on Logan Paul, but then Logan Paul retreats. AJ then calls him out to come back to the ring, but then Logan continues to walk out like the coward he is. Overall, this was a great segment. I assume this is going to be leading towards a match between AJ Styles and Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Not a bad match to say the least. We had the New Day versus Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee of the LWO in a tornado tag team match. As much as I love the New Day's heel turn, I honestly thought that they kind of fell off throughout the last couple of months. I just feel like they kind of got lost in the shuffle a bit. This was an action-packed match from top to bottom. Everyone got their time to shine. In the end, a mysterious man in a luchador mask interferes and attacked all of the babyfaces, which led to the New Day getting the win. But then he got chased out by security. It was obvious it was Chad Gable, simply because he was away from learning the art of lucha libre. I assume we will be seeing a 6-man tag team match at WrestleMania, and we'll be seeing the debut of Rey Fénix, considering he is currently a free agent. Mark my words, the Lucha Brothers will reunite at WrestleMania. The undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes shows up on Raw. The crowd in New York City sang his song in full force. He says his opponent John Cena is not here tonight, and he told his inner circle that he wasn't going to be in New York City, and he will be at Belgium next week on Monday Night Raw. He doesn't begrudge being a part-time wrestler, but he begrudges him going on social media and talking about having the discipline to do what needs to be done even if you do not feel like it. New York City does the "Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks" chants. He compares Cena to a teacher that loves challenging you, the student. At some point, you have to say, "John, sit down, you goddamn moron." And then he mentions number 17. Of course, that is meaning his 17th World Championship. Cody continues on to state, 17 doesn't happen. But what does happen is that he gets the privilege of beating his hero. But then he proceeds to close his promo stating that he is the captain now. Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez was a match that I wasn't really interested in. And from what it looked like, the crowd wasn't interested in it either. Bayley did get some offense in the match. But really, near the end, it was all Raquel Rodriguez as she hit the Tejana Bomb on Bayley, and she got the 1-2-3. Raquel is now the number 1 contender for Lyra Valkyria's Women's Intercontinental Championship. Chad Gable was backstage and was asked by Kathy Kelly why he did what he did earlier in the night. Gable denies. Kathy didn't believe in him, but in the background, we saw a masked luchador being carried out by security. I don't care what anybody says, Chad Gable was the guy behind the attack. Wrestling 101. The brand new Women's World Champion Io Sky was interviewed by Michael Cole. She was happy that she was in Madison Square Garden as the champion and happy to main event WrestleMania. Bianca Belair came out as well. She congratulated Io and showed her respect, but then mentioned Rhea Ripley, who, by the way, Bianca had an issue with last week. Rhea came out and both women went at it. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair went back and forth. Io tried to get in the middle of it, but then Rhea shoved her away. Io comes back, but then gets shoved by Bianca. At this point, the crowd is getting riled up, all while Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair are arguing with one another. Io comes back and then slaps the hell out of Rhea Ripley and slaps the hell out of Bianca and then leaves. This segment was great because it is building to what I assume is going to be a three-way at WrestleMania, considering now Rhea Ripley is involved in the equation, and I assume she's going to be getting a rematch considering she lost her title last week on Raw. Of course, we now have the main event. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins inside of a steel cage in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Throughout the show, WWE showed highlights of classic cage matches throughout the years at MSG. That was a nice touch, and the match that we saw was no exception. This was a classic. Two guys that absolutely despise one another locked inside of the steel cage and going at it. From the moment the bell rang, this was all action. Back and forth from both men, Punk would hit the elbow drop numerous times as well as the GTS, numerous stomps by Seth Rollins. The taunting between both was great as well. We had a superplex off the top of the cage by Seth Rollins. Rollins applied the STF, but then Punk countered with the Anaconda Vice, and then later Rollins gained the advantage and was near the door of the cage. But out of nowhere, Roman Reigns returns for the first time since the Royal Rumble and chokes out Seth Rollins and delivered a stomp on Seth Rollins. This was, of course, payback from the Royal Rumble when all three men, that being Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk, got eliminated and the brawl ensued. Seth actually got the win considering Roman dragged him out of the cage. Rollins then gets placed on the steel steps so Roman could hit the stomp on Rollins, but then Adam Pearce and a bunch of producers came in to stop Roman. Then all of a sudden, Roman Reigns sees CM Punk with Heyman in the ring. Remember, Punk asked Heyman for a favor, and we still do not know what that favor is. Roman sees this, and he ain't having it. So he goes and he sends Punk to the cage fence multiple times and hits him with the spear. Paul Heyman looks shocked and scared at the same time, and Roman stands tall in Madison Square Garden as the one and only original tribal chief, aka the OTC. Overall, man, this match was amazing. The story and emotion throughout the whole match brought in a big fight feel, especially considering the crowd at Madison Square Garden was 100% invested. Not to mention the amazing return of Roman Reigns and the fact that he took out both Rollins and Punk. This will lead to a triple threat match at WrestleMania. There is no other way around it, and I am excited. Overall, Raw was a great show. We had lots of build towards WrestleMania, and the card this year is shaping up to be great. Plus, the cage match was off the charts. But that was my quick review of this week's Monday Night Raw.